The sermon, hands down, that I've had more comments about, that I still get comments on, was what? Donnie, what was it? Are you building up or tearing down? You see, all of these things we've talked about are fine and dandy. But imagine this. Imagine next week somebody new comes in, sits down, sits right beside Shirley, and they're here at Sunday school. They know all the answers. They worship with us, and for 2 or 3 weeks this goes on. They're just the model Christians. They're here on Wednesday nights, and wow, you got to see this new guy, and let's call him Bob. Okay, let's call him Freddie. We don't have any Freddies. Freddie, are you all right, Mabel? See, if you stay awake the whole sermon, you get. So Freddie is a model person. We're so glad to have Freddie with us. For 3 weeks, Freddie gives us this. And then Friday night at Harvard, there's a chicken fry for a boy with a broken arm. Chicken fry. No? Okay, a barbecue. Okay. A barbecue for this boy. And Freddie is there. But Freddie's not sitting beside Shirley in the front row of church. Freddie is there, and you hear Freddie talk bad about one of us. Or Freddie's mouth, out of it is coming bad words. Or Freddie talks nothing about anything but himself and how successful he is. What is your opinion of Freddie now? The book of James, chapter 3, is very explicit about the tongue. It talks about the big ship, the huge ship with the powerful, it's a sailing ship, but the powerful wind, and everything is controlled by that little tiny rudder. When I was in Ireland, I saw the model of the Titanic. In Cork, Ireland is the last place the Titanic was at. What word am I thinking? Moored. What? Port. It took mail last time. And there's this huge model of the Titanic there. And here was this huge ship and this little tiny rudder. The tongue is that little tiny rudder. How do you treat those you love? What are your words? You ever call anybody a name? You ever talk behind somebody's back? Guess what? Your light just went shh. Now the good news is, as believers in Jesus Christ, we can trim that wick and it can come back to be better than it's ever been. Of these 4 exams, number 4 is the one we all could do better at. Some of you have seen me teach at Sunday school or on Wednesday nights, and somebody will say something. It used to happen a lot. It doesn't happen so much anymore. Somebody will say something cute like, I don't know, just something derogatory. Long enough, preacher, or whatever. But they'll throw something out there that's not called for. And it throws a damper not only on me, but the whole class. I served in a church where one person was always negative. Always negative. Guess what I remember about those board meetings? All I remember is him. A good friend of mine told me about Dick Vermeil. We'll close with this. Dick Vermeil used to be a coach of the Eagles. He won a Super Bowl with, not the Eagles, St. Louis. Thank you, Kevin. Is that your team? No. Moving on. Here's what Dick Vermeil said. All people are either showers raining down on other people, or they are drains. Think of your tongue. When was the last time you encouraged someone? When was the last time you said thank you? When was the last time you said I'm sorry? That's a shower. And a drain steals energy. The drain takes everything away. When we shine our lights, we want them to see Jesus Christ. Do we have misgivings? Do we make mistakes? Do we say things we shouldn't say? You better believe it. But for everybody today that raised his hand, there's hope. We can do better. When we walk out of here and go down and have our meal, when tomorrow comes, let us all keep our lights bright. I want to share this last verse with you, and we're done. Let's read this together. Let's all of us read this together if you can. If anyone thinks he is religious and does not bridle his tongue, but deceives his heart, this person's religion is worthless. How are you going to wiggle out of that one? We all raised our hand. We all can do better. What you do in your spare time plays out on the light you shine. Who you live for, whether it's Jesus Christ or yourself, is an indicative of how bright your light is. Do you put others first or not? Determines the brightness of your light in a huge way. Your words can make your light shine bright for Christ, or they can have the world see another Christian hypocrite. When people see you, we're almost at the end, listen very carefully. When people see you, do they see God's way of life? Or do they see something else? How would Jesus answer that question about you? Amen.